I want to first go back to the beginning of our discussion. When you suggested defining the concepts, we sort of defined the concepts, but I also want to define the mean, the goal, the aesthetics of meaning, how technologies help to talk about complex things. Why? And it seems to me, in our case, and for everyone who is present here, the goal is one, so that we become more empathetic, understandable to each other, participating, and not indifferent. So that is the goal. When we combine technology, art, and meaning, we actually pursue the goal so that we can all sympathize and empathize with each other. And if we talk about technologies in general, it seems to me, well, at the current moment, technologies have a very dual effect. On the one hand, they bring us closer, speed up our communication. We learn more about the problems that exist in different locations around the world. And on the other hand, they distance us because they eat up, for example, the nonverbal part of communication, gestures, facial expressions, smell, our physical interaction. And there is such a very interesting concept, click compassion. It's as if that's the story we're all involved in, but for some reason we can't connect to the problem. Yes, we learned about it, we read about it, we shared it, and that's it, we moved on. And the key task for technology and art is precisely to evoke an empathetic connection, to evoke a desire to help, to evoke a desire for action, for participation. And actually, I really believe in this context in technologies, not solitary technologies, mirrored, flat, but in technologies that are present in the physical world, where we have, well, there is such a concept as phygital, right? When we combine the physical and the technological, because it is the physical that gives you a common context, participation. You lived it through the body, not only at the level of cognitive function, not only at the level of meaning, but you lived it. And this gives you a sense of connection and a desire to really help. And actually, when we were thinking about Cosmoscow and thinking about how we want to tell about us, how we want to tell about the topic of autism, at first we also thought, let's put up some kind of screen that you can somehow interact with. It's very clear to everyone, we're all used to clicking it, poking it, something happens there. But it no longer causes that effect. It doesn't cause that same empathy we're talking about, that connection. And we decided to make a greenhouse. The greenhouse didn't just appear there for no reason either. This year I was at the Art Dubai Contemporary Art Fair in Dubai, actually, and I met these artists there. They were presenting their beautiful planters with digital screens there. If anyone hasn't been, come by, we're right here nearby. And it hooked me. That is, everything I saw at the fair made no impression on me except for this naive, very understandable art, referring to childhood for me personally, physical combined with digital. And we got to know them. And at some point, when we were already working together on the Kit for Kid app and thought about Cosmoscow, I actually proposed this idea. Let's make a greenhouse. And actually, why a greenhouse? A greenhouse has so many meanings. First, a greenhouse is a reflection of the inner world of a child or person with autism who often needs a safe, sheltered space where they can retreat, where it's quiet and calm, and process the whole range of their complex emotions and feelings, and then, so to speak, re enter the world and socialize. Just like flowers, they need greenhouse conditions to sprout. And there's a second point. It's important in technology and art to culturally adapt all concepts in principle. I think that in our Russian context, a greenhouse is something familiar to everyone. At grandma's in the village, at the dacha where we all spent time, cucumbers, tomatoes. And it will definitely evoke an emotion because this is a shared experience we all have. And actually, I think that's exactly what we achieved. We talked about autism and evoked that very emotion in a person that builds that very empathy, that very feeling that, yes, you've shared an experience, you felt what it can be like when it's a safe space and what it gives you. And there's also a reference to something you've already had, so you won't just walk past it. And actually, I invite everyone to step into the greenhouse to feel it on your own skin, through your body. Because again, in my context and what I basically stand for in my projects and in the Kit for Kid project, is when technology is actually combined together with something that is analog and physical in a way that brings both elements together.
Yes, thank you very much.